When the werewolf king came to my pack to choose a mate, my father put me in storage, because he didn't want anyone to know he had an ugly daughter, so as not to jeopardize my sister's chances of being chosen. But to my surprise, the werewolf king found me anyway. The knock on the door startled me. I held my breath, realizing that someone else was here, but the only person who knew I was here was my father, and he must have forgotten me by now, busy as he was helping Hannah. Is anyone in there? The voice was unfamiliar, unlike any I'd heard before. When I sniffed the air, I couldn't identify the person's scent. Perhaps it was because my wolf senses were so weak. Ever since the accident 10 years ago, I had lost much of my abilities as a werewolf, yet for some reason, unease began to creep over me. I know you're in there. Open the door, the voice demanded, its tone strict and commanding. I couldn't go outside. My father had explicitly warned me, if I stepped out of this place, he would beat me senseless, break my legs if necessary. Open the door now, or I'll tear it down, he growled, the menace in his voice sending shivers down my spine. Who are you? I can't come out. Please leave, I stammered, my voice trembling. Micah had already realized something earlier at the gathering. His mate wasn't there. When Beta Lane had introduced his daughter Hannah, Micah had felt nothing but irritation. Hannah was beautiful, sweet, and polite, but she wasn't the one. In my opinion, Hannah is the ideal mate for you, Alan had said, trying to persuade him. She has the grace of a queen. She's not my mate, Micah replied firmly. At that moment, Hannah was dancing with her friends, but kept casting shy glances in his direction. Micah wasn't a fool. He knew exactly what she was doing. Despite her innocent demeanor, his instincts told him she wasn't as pure as she appeared. When will you accept it? This is getting, Alan began, but Micah cut him off by rising abruptly from his seat. His two guards moved to follow him, but he held up a hand to stop them. He needed to be alone. As the king left the banquet, several people approached Alan, asking what had happened and where the king was going. The king must be tired. Please, continue enjoying the festivities, Alan said, forcing a polite smile while internally cursing Micah's stubbornness. Micah made his way out of the crowd, eventually reaching a quiet area filled with what looked like warehouses, and then the wind carried a sweet scent from the east, making him stop in his tracks. Micah instantly knew what it meant. No way, he murmured, his legs moving instinctively, following the scent's source. Whose scent was this? He quickened his pace. There was no mistaking it now. His mate was here, close by, but where? Micah looked around frantically. She had to be in one of these warehouses. Following her scent, he quickly identified the right one, but when he tried to open the door, it was locked. His first instinct was to break it down, but he hesitated. He didn't want to scare her. Their first meeting couldn't start like this. Still, something felt off. Normally, mates recognized each other immediately. Why didn't she want to come out? Didn't she sense him? I know you're in there. Open the door, Micah called again. The king's patience was wearing thin. Why was his mate hiding in a warehouse while everyone else was out celebrating? Why didn't he want to come out? After several attempts, his frustration boiled over. His voice hardened. Open the door now, or I'll tear it down. Who are you? I can't come out. Please leave. Hearing her trembling voice, Micah's first thought was one of concern. She was scared. That fear spurred him into action. Just as he had warned, he decided to break the door down. What he saw inside made him roar in anger. He was